We're talking standard ducking procedures and some of the code words, the language of someone who wants to duck. You know that they don't want the fight. You know what's ironic is, of all the people that we expected to duck a fight, we expected Ryan Garcia, the king of pullouts of fights, to pull out his fight. But instead of Ryan pulling out his fight, we got Keith Thurman pulling out of his fight with Tim Tszyu. And I mean it when I say this. Keith Thurman, with his bicep injury, that's a front to get out the fight. And he bailed out the fight. That's what Keith Thurman did. Real talk. In boxing, this is a common practice, but not with the top tier guys so much. A boxer, when he wants to get out of a fight, he'll actually have an injury or even fake an injury to get out of a fight. Okay? Now, this is not something new with Keith Thurman. Remember, Keith Thurman had some sort of injury with his hand or his wrist or something when he had to face Errol Spence or some mandatory he had. Then we see him somewhere in India sparring some guy. So this isn't new with Keith Thurman, and I see through the BS immediately. I saw the interview Sean Porter had with Tim Tszyu. It aired today. I think it was with, I'm not sure which one, Fight Hub probably, or it could have even been Sean Porter's Porterweight podcast. I'm not too sure who it was, but Sean Porter was interviewing Tim Tszyu about his strategy to deal with Keith Thurman. He picked Tim Tszyu's brain, and he realized that Keith Thurman was in for a fight. And after that interview, lo and behold, now we hear that Keith Thurman's pulling out the fight today because of a bicep injury. Now, I don't buy it for 1 second. He may have had a bicep injury of some kind, but I don't buy for a second that Keith Thurman pulled out of this fight because of a bicep injury. Okay? Fighters go into fights with all kinds of injuries. That's not a reason to pull out of a fight. Keith Thurman pulled out of the fight because he realized Tim Tszyu has a strategy to beat him. That's why he pulled out. Now let me tell you something. I just listened to William Zepeda's trainer, Panda. And Panda said no fighter is afraid to face another fighter. Clearly, William Zepeda is not afraid to face Shakur Stevenson. He called him out. Okay, Oscar De La Hoya backed him up. Coach Panda said he has to look at a fighter's livelihood, their money, because this is a profession. They make money off of this. They have to look at their future. And he was saying that, he has to make sure he takes care of his fighters. All of this talk, just to say, he would prefer if Zepeda fought the Kambosos Lomachenko winner, thinking that Lomachenko will win the fight. This is all talk that you guys have to understand is duck talk, when a trainer does not want his fighter to face the best. William Zepeda wants to face Shakur Stevenson, but his trainer doesn't want him to face Shakur Stevenson. He would prefer if he faced someone else. Now, I'm going to debunk what Coach Panda just said, because Coach Panda doesn't realize that he's just keeping himself totally in line with the duck contest, being a duck, okay? And this is what we, the fans, resent, and this is what hurts boxing. If a fighter wants to face another fighter, where is the downside here? Let me tell you something. I said it before, I'll say it again. William Zepeda, by facing Shakur Stevenson, would have Shakur Stevenson on his resume. That gives him ilk, rank. People will first of all come to him to talk about Shakur and how the fight was and what to deal with Shakur. If he does good and he has an exciting fight against Shakur, it does nothing bad for him. It's not only about winning, ladies and gentlemen. I know all the fighters want to win because they want their purse and their pockets to be filled with the big money, but that's not the only way to get big money, ladies and gentlemen. And Ryan Garcia is showing you guys this. Ryan Garcia is probably going to be a big draw in the future, even if he loses this fight against Devin Haney. Okay? because he knows how to generate interest for a fight. And he doesn't give you anything else but exciting fights. Now, with respect to William Zepeda and putting him in the best possible position, he is the number one contender for Shakur Stevenson. He is not the number one contender for the winner of George Kambosos versus Vasily Lomachenko for the IBF title. That's the truth of the matter. Now, William Zepeda may think that he has better chance against Vasily Lomachenko. I don't think so. Than he does against Shakur Stevenson. The truth be told, Vasily Lomachenko is much more proven. So if Vasily Lomachenko gets past Kambosos, there's no way William Zepeda is going to get past Vasily Lomachenko. All right? He's not going to get past him. He's not going to get past Shakur Stevenson more than likely either. If I was him, I'd take the opportunity now this summer to face Shakur Stevenson. Why? You will have Shakur Stevenson on your resume, and you may just get the Loma fight after Shakur beats you. I hate to say it like that. William Zepeda will want to become world champion, but on his route to becoming world champion, which I think he could become at lightweight, because some of the belts are open. In his route to become world champion, he's contender for, I think, 3 of the 4 belts. On his way to becoming world champion, if you pick up a name like Shakur Stevenson, if you pick up a name like Vasily Lomachenko, maybe even Tank Davis, because you're also a contender for Tank Davis. You face Tank Davis, you face Shakur Stevenson, you went the distance with Shakur, you fought Tank, maybe you went the distance with Tank, you fight Loma, you go the distance with Loma, maybe you do, maybe you don't. You would have 3 future Hall of Famers on your resume. You're going to be the money man. People are going to be looking to fight you. So I do not understand what Coach Panda is talking about when he says, I'm looking out for my fighter's best interest. If you don't get the Lomachenko-Kambosos fight, where does that leave you? Why is it that these trainers and these people do not understand that the Keith Thurman way doesn't work? Keith Thurman could have faced Errol Spence Jr., as Blue Blood Sports TV said. He could have faced Terrence Crawford, whether he won or lost. Just K, what's up, brother? Whether he won or lost, he'd have had those guys on his resume. The only names he has on his resume worth talking about are Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. He has nobody else. He has Manny Pacquiao, who he lost to. Think about what I'm saying. Maybe Mario Barrios does something and makes something of himself. That's all Keith Thurman has. Do you want to have a career where you could say you were undefeated but you faced absolutely nobody? Do you want to have a career where you have 1 or 2 good names on your resume but you didn't face everybody, so you don't have a whole plethora of names on your resume? See, names give you more money. And if you fight exciting fights and you have big names on your resume, win, lose, or draw, you're going to make money in this business. And that's what a lot of these young fighters are not getting, and they don't understand. Devin Haney gets it. Another fighter that gets it is Dimitri Bivol. Unfortunately for him, he still hasn't come into the big money. He's going to be facing Artur Beterbiev. Okay? You guys have to understand, and you fans need to push for this. You need to be able to see through the BS and understand when somebody's truly ducking. Canelo Alvarez does him no favors. Yes, he's making a lot of money, but he should have done already fought David Benavidez and beat his ass. Because, as I said before, I think Canelo beats David Benavidez. But the longer he takes, is the better David Benavidez will get, and the more experience he will get, and eventually, David Benavidez will whoop Canelo's ass. Because he's the future. Judge K says, Thurman shaping up to be a commentator. Oh, man, Thurman is a joke, man. He's a joke. He's become a clown. If you look at my short, you'll see that. I put a clown face under him. He's a clown. And let me say it again. I don't care what injury he has. He ducked Tim Tszyu. He backed out of the fight. Thurman's a joke. And it's sad because we were all prime, and I even said I thought Thurman had a chance to beat Tim Tszyu. I was, all on the, because I know he has experience and stuff. And he saw one interview that Sean Porter had with Tim Tszyu, and he said, "I'm out of this. I'm not fighting that dude." All that talk, all that flapping his gums. I don't care if you got a busted bicep. You knit that shit together and you get that fight done. You make sure there is a fight because money's at stake. You got Amazon Prime that you're supposed to launch Amazon Prime. You should be so proud that you're doing that. Instead, you duck out the fight. And then who replaces you? Some dude named Fundora. Fundora, who already got knocked out in his last fight. That's not right. That's not right. Not only do you let down the production, the company, and everything else, but you set everybody up. 12 days before the fight, you're going to pull out of the fight? 12 days? You don't have the skill to work with one bicep? Shout out to Gary Russell Jr. Fought with one arm. He lost the fight, but he still fought with one arm. You telling me Keith Thurman can't fight Tim Tszyu with one arm? That's what you're telling me? My point being this. You could have a legacy of Keith Thurman's kind of legacy. A legacy where he fails. He talks the talk, but he can't walk the walk. Or you can have the legacy of hey, by the way, what's going on with the guy that Tim Tszyu was supposed to face? What's his name? Hammer, the Hammer guy. What's his name? He should be able to replace on short notice. Fundora is just not the dude. Fundora hasn't come off a win. Why would we want to see Fundora versus Tim Tszyu? See Tim Tszyu knock him out? What good is that? It's a disaster right there, right? What's the guy's name? Oh shit! The name's on the tip of my mind. Erickson Lubin. What happened to Erickson Lubin? Erickson Lubin was talking and complaining how he wasn't getting the fight, and he pulled out of the fight because of an injury. Well, Erickson Lubin, here's your chance. Why aren't you taking on Tim Tszyu on short notice? Shouldn't you have been preparing for that? Why can't they have Erickson Lubin's on a win streak? Yeah, Fundora beat him, but he fought hard. Let's have Erickson Lubin versus Tim Tszyu at least. He's a southpaw and everything. I don't know. All I'm saying is Keith Thurman did nobody any favors, and I hate when guys lead you along like that, but they know they're gonna pull out the fight. I hate when that happens, but that's a part of boxing, and it happens quite frequently. Not with the most prominent people, but it happens. It's hard for guys to get fights sometimes. And I'm sorry, Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu has experienced this now twice. He experienced it with Jamel Charlo, who pulled out the fight, okay, citing injury, and then he pulled out the fight, and then he went and fought Canelo, 2 weight classes up, when he's got competition in his own division. As I said before, weight classes for a reason. Got his ass beat, got dropped by Canelo, and has not fought since. Another joker. Okay, and I used to tout Jamel Charlo as really good. A stand-up kind of guy. Well, talk is cheap. You can't back it up. Right? He's left the sport of boxing, and now it looks like Keith Thurman will follow him similarly. And we can get rid of Keith Thurman. We don't have to worry about that clown. I call him a clown because, see, I don't like when people carry you for a ride, but they know in the back of their minds they're not following through. They know in the back of their minds they're not following through. They're just setting up everybody to get depressed, disappointed. So, Keith Thurman really annoys me. Because this dude, that's a great matchup. Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman's a great matchup. Nobody's saying no. But boxing, time and time again, drops the ball. You have to wonder if Frank Martin versus Tank will happen. You have to wonder if Rolly Romero versus Pitbull Cruz will happen. Shout out to Christopher Smith. This was a fight cause I was not interested in to begin with. Was scrolling past the official releases when I saw them. Man, you ain't know what you saying, bro. Pitbull Cruz versus Rolly Romero is a very exciting fight. It's a much more competitive fight than Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, and that's a pretty competitive fight. Who you pick to win? Rolly Romero versus Pitbull Cruz. Who you pick to win, Christopher Smith? If you can't tell me who the winner is of that fight, that's how good it is. You guys want fights where you can easily pick the winner, or do you want fights which are competitive? Christopher Smith says he thinks Rolly is going to beat Pitbull Cruz. Okay. So you rock with that. I already rock with Pitbull. So that shows you it's a 50-50 fight. Because I rock with Pitbull. I think Pitbull is going to beat Rolly Romero. And I know Rolly Romero's with Salas again. Ishmael Salas. Good trainer. The Cuban School of Boxing, all of that. I know Rolly's been boxing pretty good also. We saw him box well against Tank. We saw him box okay against Barroso. But having said that, I do not think Rolly can handle Pitbull Cruz. And I'm going to tell you why. Pitbull Cruz is good at closing the distance. And he throws those haymakers. Yeah, he does throw some wild shots. But he does get to the inside. He could jab a little bit more coming to the inside, and move his head a little bit more to slip punches and get to the inside. But I do believe Pitbull Cruz is going to win this fight. He's going to give Rolly everything he can handle. He's too small. He's just a short little guy. Get under those punches that Rolly's throwing. He didn't look good in his last fight against the other guy. I do admit that. He looked a little sloppy and sluggish and stuff like that. But I do believe that Pitbull Cruz going to bring the heat. He'll be coming at him, pressuring him whole night, and he's going to be up in his chest. And Rolly's not going to have the space. And Rolly doesn't infight. He's not an infighter. He's not going to have the space to handle Pitbull Cruz. That's my personal opinion, Christopher. Just K said Pitbull by split decision. I don't know, man. Pitbull might hurt him. He might hurt Rolly. Rolly's a big, strong guy, though. But Rolly's just been complaining about making weight, so that tells me he might be weight drained in this fight, too. He has to watch out for being weight drained. And Rolly likes to eat, as we all know. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting fight. And it's a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you. You can't really know who is going to win. There's just too many factors out there. Yeah, Rolly can crack, and yes, with Pitbull coming to him, he'll have his opportunities to crack Pitbull, but I don't think he's going to catch him flush because Pitbull actually has pretty good defense as well. So for all those reasons, I think that Rolly Romero, I just think Pitbull's the much more solid fighter of the two. That's why I picked Pitbull. But to be honest with you, I don't know who's going to win that fight. And that's what makes it interesting. And it was the same thing with Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu. I didn't know who was going to win the fight. After hearing the interview with what Tim Tszyu was going to do to solve Keith Thurman to Sean Porter, we saw that Keith Thurman just suddenly pulled out the fight. Right after that interview. Okay? So it told me that Sean Porter was kind of scouting for Keith Thurman to see if Tim Tszyu was really up to it. And when they realized, okay, this going to be harder than possible, especially with the injury, they pulled out. That's what happened. You see these things also with in the cases of sometimes a fighter after a fight will feign an injury. You know, Lomachenko talking about he had an injured arm. Teofimo Lopez talking about how he was injured or whatever. You know, couldn't breathe or whatever. They make those excuses also after the fight. But they're all excuses for why they lose. They know they was going to lose. These fighters know. Thurman ain't taking that fight because he don't think he can win. He's not following through because he doesn't think he can win. That's the reason. And what does winning involve? Money. More money. Bigger fights. The Danny Garcia arm injury. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that these guys, man, they really sour the sport. Because here you are geared up for something and then a guy pulls out. Now you don't get that as often, I don't believe, in UFC. In basketball, you got to show up. Once you sign the contract, you got to show up. Injury or no injury, be damned. You show up. You be professional. Don't pull out of fights. Christopher Smith says, one big reason for my lack of interest is I remember things. Pitbull Cruz called Haney boring and ducked Shakur when they were ordered to fight. Raleigh didn't even fully earn his title. Raleigh earned his title against Barroso, I think, Ishmael Barroso. That's my opinion. I think that the referee took it away from him, the knockout victory. Yes, Pitbull Cruz ducked a number of people. Pitbull Cruz was supposed to sign with another ducker, which was Ryan Garcia. And he set up Ryan Garcia. Raleigh ducked out. A lot of guys ducked a lot of guys, okay? And I'm glad you realize that. But having said that, this matchup is interesting. You know, and if you see an interesting, you know, like Raleigh Romero versus Ryan Garcia would have been an interesting matchup as well. Sermon was fooled before the injury anyway. 2 years out from the best at welterweight, 2 years out of the ring. It's a statement for the Aussie. No. Christopher, we can't go like that. We can't go like that. If you're 12 days out from a fight. 12 days out from a fight, and that's when you're going to pull out of a fight? That's when you're going to pull out of a fight? In which most people think, oh, this could be an interesting fight. Right? No. I don't want to hear that. That's unprofessional. That is unprofessional. Keith Thurman has done this before. And he's very unprofessional. All right? And then masking it with an injury. Truth be told, he didn't pull out the fight until after that interview Sean Porter had with Tim Tszyu. He could have pulled out before. He didn't do that. You're 12 days in. 12 days into the fight. 12 more days and the fight happens. And now you look to pull out? Fuck you. That's ugly, man. That's nasty. That's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Christopher Smith, is it not a bicep injury? Have you seen pictures? I've just seen reports. It doesn't matter. Again, fighters get injured for various reasons. Telling me you got an injury doesn't mean that you hold up a multi-million-dollar fight. You fight through it. You get the W regardless. Look at Shakur Stevenson, supposedly injured, right? Against Edwin De Los Santos. He fought through it. You signed a contract. Contracts don't mean anything anymore. So, this is what we're talking about. Now, the reason why fighters duck other fighters is for financial reasons. When they don't think they can win a fight, they pull out. Because they want to get the most amount of money they possibly can, and they want to make sure they win the fight so they can get more money for the next fight, and the next fight, and the next fight. This is the reasoning. But what people don't understand is Edwin De Los Santos benefits by fighting Shakur Stevenson. Even if it's a boring fight, it was competitive. And whether people say they want to see Edwin or not in the future, he's going to be paid more because he faced a guy named Shakur Stevenson. So your paycheck is based also on who you face. He faced one of the top lightweights in the lightweight division, Edwin De Los Santos, his first championship contention. Okay? So his stock, whether they believe it or not, his stock is going up. People know who Edwin De Los Santos is now. See, that's what these people don't understand. It's who you face. You don't always beat who you face, but if you face for future Hall of Famers, when you have these guys on your resume, your paycheck gets bigger. You're also able to tell people and get interviews and make money that way. My point is this: whether Keith Thurman's hand is injured or not, I don't know which hand he damaged. There's ways to win fights. It's not like Keith Thurman can't box. He doesn't know how to box. So that's what I got to say about that. I'm what you need. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. I'm gonna do another video on a different topic now. So I'm gonna come back. I've been home whole day, been at the house whole day, so I've been doing mostly these streams. I just find it very, very disappointing. This is what makes boxing whack and stupid. We get these dumbass matchups that belong in the circus, like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. These are stupid. This is like for casual fan stuff, okay? Next, they're gonna take a 100-year-old fighter, a 100-year-old guy, and put him up against a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old. What the hell is going on in boxing, man? Tyson Fury fought a debutant, and got dropped by a debutant in boxing. A travesty to boxing. Are we going to make boxing into a circus? There's a limit to how much stupid stuff we need to see, man. Talking about Tyson Fury needed to get his paycheck. I can't fault him for getting paycheck. No, there is a limit to how stupid you can be in boxing, man. There's a lot of circus stuff going on. AJ put it right. Thank you. Thank goodness. AJ put it right. AJ put it right. AJ did what he's supposed to do. He ain't do nothing special. He knocked out a guy with one fight, which was a loss. He didn't put nothing right. You think if this dude goes in the ring with Deontay Wilder, he won't get the same treatment? If he goes in there with any top 10 heavyweight, he gonna get put to sleep. Okay? Because guess what? He's not on their level. That's why I didn't make a big deal about the fight. I didn't talk about it. I can't believe you guys are buying into this bullshit. The only thing we learned about that fight is Tyson Fury is not as good as people thought he was. He's shit. And he has to cheat to win. That's what we learned. Because Tyson Fury couldn't hit a fly. AJ put the guy into a coma. He short-circuited him, as he was supposed to do as heavyweight. This guy wouldn't be a name if it wasn't for the fact that Tyson Fury made him a name. Boxing has never been the same without the greatest boxer of all time, Mike Alvarado. I want to say one more thing before I end the stream. I can't wait for Usyk to whoop Tyson Fury's ass, because he will. Okay? Y'all said it. Deontay Wilder ain't no big-time boxer. He really isn't. He ain't no Alexander Usyk. He ain't no Michael Hunter. He ain't no Lennox Lewis. Okay? He ain't that. He can box a little bit. So when Tyson Fury beat up Deontay Wilder and knocked him out, y'all gave him mad props because Deontay Wilder was knocking out everybody. Y'all always get punch drunk with the knockout power. But the truth is, and even I got caught up in the hype and I was saying he could beat Muhammad Ali and all kinds of bullshit. Tyson Fury ain't all that. He ain't all that. And Alexander Usyk, who's a well-rounded fighter and a guy who comes from a descendant of fighters, real fighters, like guys who was in real wars, is going to set that record straight and expose Tyson Fury for what he is. Tyson Fury doesn't want to face Alexander Usyk. I'm going to let you know that one time. Just like how Ryan Garcia doesn't want to face Devin Haney. Okay? But Ryan Garcia is going to face Devin Haney, and Tyson Fury has to face Alexander Usyk. If he pulls out, he will be fined through his ass, because that's part of the contract. Can't just pull out of the fight. So that fight will happen. Christopher Smith says Fury is not clearly shit. He beat Klitschko in Germany against odds, beats Wilder in a trilogy. Third fight was something. Tyson Fury is overrated. I can say that now. He's overrated. And Usyk will let y'all know exactly what the scene is with this dude. Y'all know Usyk's smaller than him in stature, height, and length. Usyk said Tyson Fury is going to be the toughest fight of his life. And he's right, because the guy's long, he's tall, etc. But we saw a debutante handle Tyson Fury and drop his ass. And you can bet your belly button dollar, no matter how much Tyson Fury cheats, Alexander Usyk going to handle him, and handle him properly. Christopher Smith says Fury fights to the level of his opponents. I can see Fury keeping Usyk at a distance and using his weight. He ain't gonna use his weight. You didn't get like you didn't watch the fight. You didn't see that Ngannou was nullifying Tyson Fury leaning on him. He was taking it away from him. How he was doing it. Didn't you see Usyk pick up Tyson Fury physically? What do you think, too? You think Usyk's not training to handle that dude? He's training to handle him. And handle him he will. Christopher Smith says, I'm picking Raleigh. I'm picking Fury. Let's see what happens. You can pick Fury. You can pick Raleigh. You can pick whoever you want. Usyk versus Fury is not a 50-50 fight. I can guarantee you that. I'll see you on the stream. I'll say it again. I'll see you on the stream. It doesn't matter, my friend. I can tell you, Usyk is going to whoop Tyson Fury's ass. And you're going to watch it. I'm telling you now, Tyson Fury is afraid to face Usyk. He wants to cheat. He's going to try and cheat in whichever way he can. But at the end of the day, no matter what he does, he's going to lose to Usyk. Usyk's going to whoop his ass. Now, with respect to Pitbull Cruz and Rolly Romero, I really don't know who's going to win that fight. I said it's a 50-50 fight. I favor Pitbull Cruz. So maybe Rolly catches Pitbull with something. I don't see that happening, but maybe he does. Who knows? But when it comes to Usyk versus Tyson Fury, I can guarantee almost Usyk will beat the brakes off of Tyson Fury. Remember I said that, because I do believe that very, very strongly. And Fury did not want to face Usyk. And he's shown that time and time again. Time and time again. You watch the negotiations. He didn't try to go into this fight like how he did with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, there was no problems making negotiations with Wilder. No problems. But when it comes to Alexander Usyk, he's been ducking and dodging and hedging and everything. Just K says Usyk 10-round stoppage. Fury gets knocked down and he gets back up. Usyk will have to knock down Fury a couple times for that to happen. I don't know if that will happen, but what I can tell you is Usyk's going to win that fight. And he's going to put some blows on Tyson Fury. That much I do know. I didn't rate Fury back in the day before the Hay fight fell apart, but he finds a way. He cheats. He's a cheater. Mike Alvarado says Seth Mitchell beats both Usyk and Fury. Seth Mitchell has the best skills. We watched it. There's certain fights I can't call. But the Fury versus Usyk fight I can call. I can call it. Usyk's the real deal, and y'all gonna see that. He's real. He's as real as they get. He is the real deal. Notice he doesn't get carried away with Fury's antics and all of that. He doesn't get carried away with what Fury says or anything like that. He's unperturbed. You know why? The dude literally comes from a real line of warriors. He literally comes from a clan of fighters, real fighters, not boxers, fighters. Okay? He's literally a descendant of a tribe of fighters in Ukraine. Okay? He's seen real war and real action. He's been participating in the Ukraine war. This dude is not no joke. So nothing that Fury can bring to Usyk perturbs him in any way. The one bucking and hedging and howling is Fury. How can you guys not see that? He about to get his ass whooped. And Usyk's gonna beat him. That's what I believe. And I see Usyk's confidence. I see everything. Fury's the guy that's uncertain. Fury's the guy that's been hedging for the longest while. He don't want to face Usyk. He doesn't. If he could find a way to pull out of that fight, he would pull out of the fight. Usyk's about to put up ass whooping on Fury. Guarantee you that. Now, with respect to other fighters out there, you know, like we have a matchup with Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. That's a good fight. That actually is a good fight. I don't really see Beterbiev beating Bivol. A lot of people feel, you know, there's certain guys who have actually sparred with Beterbiev and they think because of his power and everything, he'll beat Bivol. He's strong and powerful and he's got good boxing skills because he's, of course, an Olympian. But I truly believe that Bivol, what I've seen of Bivol, he's so good at controlling range and distance that I truly believe Bivol's going to beat Beterbiev. Yeah, I think Bivol's too good for Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev has improved a lot. I think he's come a long way, but I don't think Beterbiev beats Bivol. I just don't see it. A lot of people think that Beterbiev's going to beat Bivol. I don't see it. But, you know, it is what it is. I agree with you on that, Christopher Smith. I do not agree with you that Tyson Fury will beat Alexander Usyk. I think Usyk is way better than Tyson Fury. And I think he's going to be physical. If Tyson Fury is physical, he'll be physical as well. And he's going to show just how strong he is and everything. And I understand that when he was fighting Daniel Dubois, he got hit with a body shot, which the referee called a low blow. I saw that. That's something Tyson Fury should register in his data banks. But having said that, I still think Alexander Usyk is a problem for the heavyweight division. He's going to be a problem that's going to be hard to solve. And I think he's a giant slayer as well. And we'll see. Bivol will outsmart Beterbiev. That's what I think will happen, yes. I also agree. He's also going to punish him, but he'll also outsmart him. Christopher Smith, Andre Ward was at Bivol's gym in the HBO special for a reason. Right, he's getting intel. He was like, I'm going to retire now. That would be an interesting fight, though. Andre Ward versus Dimitri Bivol. That would have been a good fight. That's a fantasy fight right there. Because Bivol's a guy, he's been doing it since he was a little child, since he knew himself. So, I mean, and the guys he likes are defensive fighters. Beterbiev beats Bivol. Artur from Chechnya, those guys are built different like Khabib. I don't think so. Boxing's not just about brawn and strength, even though that's important as well. And size. It's more than that. And Bivol's going to school this dude. He's going to school him. He's going to teach him some stuff when he gets in there. And he might look simple. Bivol might look like a simple fighter, just like Devin Haney makes things look simple. You know, there's no extra pizzazz by Bivol. You know what I'm saying? But he does use special effects, even though they're straightforward and they're more simple looking. He does use special effects, and I just don't think Beterbiev can fuck with that. Usyk's body is his weakness. You remember when AJ landed 3 shots and Usyk uncharacteristically dived forward to clinch? Fury will fight dirty to win. Yeah, I know, the body shots. That's what you're talking about. But and I saw it with Daniel Dubois as well. We saw it with Daniel Dubois. So it'll be in Fury's interest to attack Usyk's body. That should be his strategy all the way through. But I don't think he's going to succeed. I don't think he's going to succeed. Is that rain? Okay, we got a little bit of rain, it seems. Yeah. So I just don't think that Tyson Fury, you know, has the kind of tools Usyk has. We also saw Usyk have a tough fight with what's his name? I forgot what his name is. The guy that also fought Tyson Fury, I think it's 3 or 4 times, and he got stopped 3 or 4 times. I forgot what his name is. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Can't remember his name right now, though. I forgot what his name is. He's a heavyweight. Usyk goes down as a top 5 of all time if he wins both fights without a question. Chisora, yeah, Derek Chisora, yeah. He had a tough fight with Derek Chisora, and Chisora was working his body too, but it shows how tough he is. He came through, you know, and he came on strong, coming down the stretch. Chisora was still doing his thing. Chisora put on a hell of a performance, by the way. And Tyson Fury going to have to do more than that, and I don't see Tyson Fury doing more than what Chisora did. Chisora was switching from orthodox to southpaw. He was doing all kinds of shit. And Usyk was still able to handle him. And Chisora was really bringing the heat. And this was a smaller Usyk. Usyk wasn't acclimatized to heavyweight like he was. And he was taking those body shots, man. And he was still doing his thing. So I don't see, like I said before, I think Usyk's built from a different cloth. And I don't see anybody. Has anybody even dropped Usyk? Has Usyk ever been dropped? I don't know. Maybe he has. But he's built from a different cloth, though. That's what I can tell you. And I just don't see it. I think he's much more sturdy than people think. And because he can box, and because he knows how to sort of evade certain things and to also kind of, change situations, I could see him, unlike Deontay Wilder, who couldn't handle the situation and didn't know how to make adjustments. I could see him making adjustments. I could see him nullifying certain things that Tyson Fury does very well, and therefore being able to catch Tyson Fury. And remember, the other thing that's an advantage for Usyk is he's a southpaw. Now, how many southpaws has Tyson Fury faced? And how has he performed against southpaws? You know, when you look at Otto Wallen, who, again, AJ dispatched quite handily, Tyson Fury was not able to dispatch Otto Wallen. Otto Wallen punched him in the face and busted up his eye, if you do remember. Who else did Tyson Fury face that was a southpaw? I can't remember. But the point is, he doesn't do particularly well against southpaws, and he's going to be facing one of the best southpaws out there. So I think that, just so much goes into this equation that you're not thinking about. And the fact that Tyson Fury, he's not really that good at maintaining range as we thought, keeping you at bay. He wasn't able to keep Deontay Wilder at bay. Deontay Wilder would get to the inside, and he knocked him down twice in the first fight. In the second fight, they were still rumbling on the inside. With all his reach and everything and his aggression, he still had to fight Deontay Wilder close enough, and Deontay Wilder was still counterpunching him. And then in the third fight, and I thought he cheated in both fights, but nonetheless. In the third fight, again, he was getting caught. It's not like he can maintain distance, like he did against Klitschko. Klitschko was a much more static, not as mobile fighter. And Klitschko was very old. So Tyson Fury was able to outmaneuver him with his feet. He's not going to be able to do that with Usyk. He's not going to be able to do none of those things with Usyk. That's why I don't see how Tyson Fury is going to beat Usyk. And he doesn't really maintain range that well. And we saw it not only in the fight with Ngannou. We saw it when he fought Cummings. We saw it when he fought Chisora. We saw it when he fought Dillian White. We saw it. Dillian White was landing punches on him. And Tyson Fury has a much longer reach than Dillian White. He was landing body punches on him. I was breaking him down until Tyson Fury caught him with the uppercut. Um, we saw it against Deontay Wilder in the third fight. Wilder was landing his punches on him, put him down twice. So all I'm saying is, if you're thinking that Tyson Fury is this great, he's not all that. He's not all that. He has some speed, he has some quickness, but I think Usyk's just too complete a fighter, too good a fighter. And I'm not saying Usyk is a guy that can fight on the inside. He's not really an inside fighter like that. He's more a mid-range outside fighter, but still, I think Usyk's going to put some hands on Tyson Fury, and y'all gonna be shocked. That's what I think. I think the sleeping giant in the heavyweights is the resurgence of Joshua. Yeah, Anthony Joshua, I wouldn't say it's a resurgence per se. I think he's more assertive in his fights. But again, his fight against Ngannou was a given. It was a given. He just had to stay focused, and he would do what he did, and he did what he did. He looked good against Ngannou, but who's Ngannou? Ngannou's nobody. You know what I mean? His win against Otto Wallen was actually quite impressive, though, because Otto Wallen's a good fighter. But AJ, is doing better. All that hard work is paying off now. We are yet to see where that would lead. He's putting himself in a position to face the winner of Usyk versus Fury, so we'll see where it leads. You know what I'm saying? But once again, boxing has some buffoonery in it, and it really takes some of the heat out of the enthusiasm for fights. Rolly Romero versus Pitbull Cruz is actually a better fight than Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, believe it or not. I also think that Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu would have been a better fight than Tank versus Frank Martin, because of the experience of Keith Thurman and the abilities of Tim Tszyu, but it is what it is. I would say that actually Frank Martin versus Tank is a better fight than Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, believe it or not. And Ryan Garcia's training his ass off, and he actually looks pretty good when I see him doing the different skills and techniques he's doing with Derek James. But I do think that as much as Ryan's training his ass off, I think Devin Haney has an answer for all of that. Christopher Smith says Joshua won a handful of rounds in the rematch. 7-5 Usyk was the consensus. He could win if they fought again. Probably needs the KO to win. Christopher Smith says, I think Haney stops Ryan inside 7. It might sound shocking, but I won't be surprised. Haney's got some pop, man. He's got some power. Put down Regis Prograis. Not many people put down Regis Prograis, you know what I mean? He's also got quickness and speed. But I don't think that fight's going to be as easy as people think. I think Ryan has some tools in his toolbox, man. He's got some tools in his toolbox. And you're going to be, this is a stronger, not weight-trained, weight-depleted Ryan Garcia. I think he's focused as well. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let Ryan fool you with the talk that he's talking. He's focused and dialed in on this fight. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight, I think. I have Devin Haney winning. I don't know if he's going to stop Ryan. I think if Ryan underestimates Devin Haney's power, he definitely could get dropped. He could get dropped because Devin's much bigger, much stronger now. And I think that Ryan has the power to drop Devin Haney, hurt him as well. And he's quick with it. He's quick with his shots and how he walks you into a shot and stuff like that. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what will happen. I think Ryan has worked on his defense as well, so he's going to be a lot more defensively sound. So all of that is going to be factored in when you see this fight. But I do think Devin's experience is going to get him ahead of. I think he's a 1 or 2 or 3 levels ahead of Ryan. Ryan should have gotten a couple tune-up fights, a couple more fights before he faced somebody like Devin Haney. I think he's getting this fight a little too soon, and Devin Haney's just got way more experience than he does. So I think Devin's gonna pull it out. I think Devin's gonna win 9, 10, and 11 and 12. I think he's gonna take it from Ryan there. I think that's where he pulls away. I don't know if there's a stoppage in this fight. It's possible. Both guys could stop each other, but I think that Devin Haney will win this fight. Ryan's win against Luke Campbell was a good win. Luke was a good medalist, a gold medalist, and fought a few of the best. Yes, he did. But Luke Campbell was a good fighter, but he wasn't elite. He wasn't a Tank or a Shakur or Devin or Tio or he wasn't on that level. But Ryan's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the problem with Ryan. Ryan's problem is, whereas Devin Haney never cut corners, he always did what he was supposed to do. Ryan didn't always do what he's supposed to do. That's the problem with Ryan. That's why Devin Haney fought who he was supposed to fight, and Ryan, instead of fighting who he was supposed to fight so he would develop, pass or fail, didn't do that. Took a shortcut, went straight to Tank, and that's why he got stopped. And he's going after Devin now a little too soon. So Frank Martin's the same thing. He's going up against Tank. Now, again, he's in line to face Tank. He's supposed to face Tank. But it's a little too soon. He needs a little bit more experience. But, hey, face Tank, you make it to the final bell, you got a lot of experience right there. Make it competitive, you get a lot of experience. I favor Tank to beat Frank Martin because he just got more experience. And that's something you can't trade. Experience, in this case, is knowledge. And there's a lot that Tank knows that Frank Martin doesn't know, and that just works to Tank's advantage. This one says, Haney's the best in the world at 140 and down. He'll remind us why on the 20th. Yeah, I believe that. I do believe that as well. And he's only looking better and getting better, so I can only imagine. And you notice Devin Haney's not really in the limelight. It's Ryan kind of pushing the fight, and Bill. But Devin's training right now. That's all he's doing. He might tweet a couple tweets in the night, but he's mostly training, so is what it is. Yeah, well, Devin Haney to me is the real deal. Him. I'm not sure what Terrence Crawford's trying to do. I don't know where he wants to go. People are talking about Terrence Crawford versus Tim Tszyu, to jump in, fill the gap for Tim Tszyu. I would love that to happen, but Terrence Crawford doesn't look like he would do something like that. He looks like he's more calculated. But that would be great. Bernard Hopkins, the bathroom guy. Yeah. What I mean? Anyway, I've spent almost an hour here talking boxing with you guys. What I really wanted to do was just, go into depth about the ducking situation that's happening in boxing a lot. And it really dampens the joy and the enjoyment of boxing, because some of these fights are really good fights, and then somebody pulls out of the fight or something happens and the fight is called off. It's really very, very crappy. This is what gives boxing its bad name. You have to follow through with whatever you say you're going to do to entertain the public. And Fundora is he's fodder. Fundora's fodder for Tszyu. Tszyu's going to destroy him. So we need somebody better. Erickson Lubin, step in, bro. Step up to the challenge. Here's what it is. I'm what you need. You guys have a good night. You'll see another stream. I have another set of information to share, so I'll do that. All right, have a good night. Don't forget you can also donate via PayPal. I think the link is in the description. All right, peace.